Maybe I have nothing to do with the mess. Maybe it was just
Maybe it's this air.
I had to figure it out right now, and I said, you know what, let's leave it to
I just, all I want to make sure is that there's a place where
my kids, they're somewhere.
cat's not coming in, he's in driving.
I didn't
You know,
really, I had to go see her, but that's pretty okay for a while. I can go, 1 minute.
I know what that is.
You know what? So get behind me. I love these things.
The island.
Welcome, everybody. I call the regular meeting of council to order. At this time, I'd ask Councillor Chase for the blessing and land acknowledgement, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. As we gather, we recognize that we are on Treaty 3 lands, which are steep in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations and Métis people today. We continue to be thankful for the partnerships with Indigenous people. We give thanks for the many blessings we enjoy in the city of Kenora. We seek wisdom in our minds, clearness in our thinking, truth in our speaking, and always love in our hearts, so that we may try to always unite the citizens of Kenora. Let these principles guide us in our decision-making today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Public information notices as required under Notice Bylaw 144-2007. The public is advised of Council's intention to adopt the following at its March 22nd, 2022 meeting. Budget amendments for 2021 carry forward projects that were not complete in 2021. $227,771 to be funded through the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, Resilience Infrastructure Stream for the purchase and installation of a dehumidifier in the Thistle Arena at the Kenora Recreation Centre. $22,432 to be funded through the Municipal Asset Management Program, and the contingency reserve for the Asset Management Plan update with $17,946 coming from the MAP and $44.86 from the contingency reserve. $23,772, of which $7,001.79 is to be funded through the Police Commission reserves, and $16,770.21 plus HST funded through contingency reserves for a strategic planning process for the Kenora Police Service Board. $10,000 to be added to the total project costs as per the Chipman Lot redevelopment carry forward that is funded through a contribution from BIZ. $15,417 for the completion of the Sustainability Action Plan to be funded from Land Planning Reserve. $30,244, of which $27,220 is to be funded through FedNor, and the balance of $3,024 to be funded through contingency reserves for the completion of the strategic plan. $57,625 for the completion of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan to be funded through contingency reserves. $52,310 for the Tourism Branding and Marketing Project to be funded through the Brand Leadership Team Reserve and the MAP Fund. $30,350 for Downtown Reforestation Project through Net Tax Levy. $5,399 to be funded through the Land Planning Reserve for the Official Plan Zoning Bylaw Review. Council will pass the 2022 Water and Wastewater Operating 5-Year Capital Plan budgets. Council will pass the 2022 Solid Waste Operating 5-Year Capital Plan budgets. Council will amend their 2022 meeting calendar to reflect a change to the April Committee of the Whole meeting date. This time I'd ask any member of council if they wish to declare a pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof. Containing any items as follows, either on today's agenda or from a previous meeting, or from a meeting in which a member was not in attendance. Seeing none, This time I'd ask for the reading of resolution number 1.
Thank you, Your Worship. I've got resolution number 1, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that the following minutes of the Council of the City of Kenora be adopted as circulated. Regular Council, February 15th, 2022. Special Council, February 28th, 2022. And Special Council, December 5th, 2019.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried? At this time, we have one deputation. Kenora moving forward, and I'll remind Mr. Kirby, I believe you're presenting. You have 5 minutes, so welcome, and the floor is yours.
Can you hear us, Mr. Kirby?
Richard, can you hear us?
Try now. Can you hear us?
Either Mr. Kurtz or Mr. Kirby, can you hear us? Okay, so at this time, I welcome you to the meeting, and you have approximately 5 minutes, so the floor is yours, so please go ahead.
Thanks very much, Mayor Rayner and Council. It's a pleasure to appear on behalf of Kenora moving forward to address the issue of inclusionary housing with respect to the development proposed for 1435 Valley Drive, some 80+ units. This is a tremendous development and a significant contribution to addressing the desperate housing need in Kenora. And Kenora moving forward would like to propose that the city, council, and other interested parties sit at the table with the developer to discuss reserving a certain number of these 80+ units for those who have been marginalized and excluded from the housing market. And I'm not just talking about the homeless, people who sleep at the shelter, the detox, sleep in tents or on the street. I'm talking about people who work in the retail sector, people who work in fast food outlets. Now let me just give you an example. I have a friend who regularly provides room and board for 2 to 3 people who work in fast food outlets. And the reason he does that is because these people simply cannot afford to rent places individually. They have to double up and triple up in order to afford a place to rent. I have another friend who recently sold her house to someone who owns one of the fast food outlet franchises. And that person uses the house to accommodate their workers who again cannot find housing. So we're not just talking about the homeless, but let's address that issue. We know from surveys over the years that there are 120 homeless people in Kenora at least, and there are hundreds of people throughout the district on waiting lists for housing. So I ask council to think about these people and think about people who require supports for mental health and addictions. Think about people on fixed incomes, including those on disability pensions or seniors. We have to work to accommodate those people. And we are very sure that if the city sets up a table, including the developer and members of council and staff, together with other helping organizations like the Association for Community Living, the Friendship Center, the Fellowship Center, and other groups, an accommodation can be made. And so no issue will allow people to say, we just can't get over that hurdle. That bridge is a bridge too far to cross. We're very sure that if the developer is willing to cooperate in designing units which are affordable and allow people to get into them, including people who require supports, that some of those units will go to address the desperate need for housing in Kenora. Now, I mentioned just in passing, and it's explained fuller in the brief which I provided to council. Heather will give it to you. The City of Toronto is the first municipality in Ontario to pass a preclusionary zoning bylaw. And this allows the city to negotiate with apartment owners and condo unit developers to reserve a certain number of units as affordable housing. And this means that renters will pay no more than 30% of their income towards rent. And that's the kind of concept I would like the city of Kenora to think about. Obviously, there's no time to develop that housing, the official plan amendments and zoning bylaws, but the city can move forward on an informal basis, setting up the kind of table that we are recommending. So again, please read my brief, and please feel free to contact me or any member of Kenora moving forward to discuss our ideas further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Peter. And Heather, have you received it?
And I forwarded it on.
Okay, so we all do have it, so thank you very much for that. At this time, I'd ask for the resolution number 2, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Smith. The council hereby appoints Terrence Douglas to the Muse Board for a term at the pleasure of council, no later than November 14th, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 3.
Resolution number 3, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss. The council hereby appoints Chris Price to the Planning Advisory Committee for a term at the pleasure of council, no later than November 14th, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 4.
Resolution number 4, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby accepts the monthly financial statements of the Corporation of the City of Kenora as of January 31st, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. I have to apologize, going back to item number 7, additions to the agenda, there were none, so I skipped over that rather quickly, so apologies. At this point, resolution number 5, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 5 is moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby accepts the 2021 capital and unusual spending quarterly fourth quarter report.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 6.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Smith, that council hereby approves the 2022 water and sewer utility budget, and further, that council hereby authorizes city administration to proceed with the implementation of all budget-related decisions in accordance with those reflected within the water and sewer budgets, and further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to formally adopt the 2022 water and sewer utility budget by bylaw at its March 22nd council meeting, and further, that the appropriate bylaw be passed for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? I'm sorry, Councillor Smith, your hand is up for both.
I was just slow and bring
Okay,
it down.
thank you.
Sorry.
Resolution is approved. Resolution number 7.
Resolution number 7, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss. The council hereby approves the 2022 solid waste utility budget, and further, the council hereby authorizes city administration to proceed with the implementation of all budget-related decisions in accordance with those reflected within the solid waste budgets, and further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144/2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to formally adopt the 2022 solid waste utility budget by bylaw at its March 22nd council meeting, and further, that the appropriate bylaw be passed for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed?
Can I ask that the clerk record the vote, please?
Certainly. You read the resolution?
Just a minute, 1 moment, please. Okay, so I'll call for a recorded vote on
Resolution number 7.
7. Thank you. Councillor Shays?
Yeah.
A or nay?
Nay.
Thank you. Councillor Goss?
Aye.
Councillor McMillan?
A.
Councillor Poirier is absent. Councillor Smith?
A.
Councillor Van Wallingham is absent. Mayor Reynard?
A.
Thank you. Motion is carried.
Thank you. Resolution number 8.
Resolution number 8, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby approves the following budget amendments for 2021 carry forward projects that were not complete in 2021. $227,771 to be funded through the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, Resilience Infrastructure Stream for the purchase and installation of a dehumidifier in the Thistle Arena at the Kenora Recreation Centre. $22,432 to be funded through the Municipal Asset Program and the Contingency Reserve for the Asset Management Plan update, with $17,946 coming from the MAMP and $4,486 from the Contingency Reserve. $23,772, of which $7,001.79 is to be funded through Police Commission reserves, and $16,770.21 plus HST funded through contingency reserves for a strategic planning process for the Kenora Police Services Board. $10,000 to be added to the total project cost as part of the Chipman Street lot redevelopment carry forward that is funded through a contribution from BIZ. $15,417 for the completion of the Sustainability Action Plan to be funded from Land Planning Reserve. $30,244, of which $27,220 is to be funded through FedNor, and the balance of $3,024 to be funded through contingency reserves for the completion of the strategic plan. $57,625 for the completion of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan to be funded through contingency reserves. $52,310 for the Tourism Branding and Marketing Project to be funded through the Brand Leadership Team Reserve and the MAT Fund. $30,350 for Downtown Reforestation Project through the Net Tax Levy. $5,399 to be funded through the Land Planning Reserve for the Official Plan Zoning Bylaw Review. That in accordance with Notice Bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that Council intends to amend its 2022 capital budget at its March 22nd, 2022 meeting for these purposes, and further, that Council give 3 readings to a bylaw to amend the 2022 capital budget for that purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 9.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 9 is also seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby adopts a bylaw to license and regulate taxi cabs, limousines, and droves in the city of Kenora, and further that bylaw number 104-2019 be hereby repealed.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 10.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby amends the 2022 council meeting calendar to reflect the April 12th Committee of the Whole meeting. Date be rescheduled to April 5th, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 11.
Resolution number 11, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Shays, that the 2018 to 2022 term of council reviewed the existing boards and committees that form part of this term of council, and further that council directs administration to conduct a legal review on the membership of members of council on the Kenora Healthcare Board of Directors, and further that the Kenora Urban Recreational Trails Committee and the Heritage Kenora Committee review their terms of reference and bring a recommendation through administration to council for review no later than September 13th, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 12.
Resolution number 12, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby authorizes a funding application to the Ministry for seniors and accessibility under its Inclusive Community Grant to support costs identified within the city's 2022 capital plan, and further, that council approves any cost overruns associated with this project.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 13.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 13, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby authorizes an application for funding to the Trans-Canada Trails on its Trail Care Grant Initiative.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 14.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Smith, the council hereby authorizes the mayor and clerk to execute a memorandum of understanding with 21 Adventures Incorporated for the operation of a floating water park in the waters off Norman Beach, and further, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 15.
Resolution number 15, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby repeals bylaw number 135, 2021, being a bylaw to authorize a license of occupation agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Her Majesty the Queen in Right of Canada, represented by the Minister of the Environment, for the use of property located at the intersection of Bay Street and Government Road, northeast corner, City of Kenora, in the province of Ontario, and further, that the appropriate bylaw be passed for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 16.
Resolution number 16, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby directs staff to complete an application for the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Cultural Supports Program for Canada Day 2022 in the amount of $10,000, and further, that council hereby approves any cost overruns associated with this project.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 17.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 17, and it's seconded by Councillor Smith. It reads that council hereby approves an application to the Government of Canada Active Transportation Fund Planning and Design Project Stream for the development of an active transportation master plan, and further, that an application be made to the Capital Project Stream for the development of an accessible trail link between Norman Park and the Lake of the Woods Discovery Centre.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 18.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Smith, that council hereby approves an application for zoning bylaw amendment, file number D14-22-02, to change the zoning of the subject properties from RU Rural Zone and HC Highway Commercial Zone to RU Rural Zone, HC 52 Highway Commercial Exception Zone, and R3 Residential Third Density Zone should be approved in lieu of public comments that may yet to be received, and further, that council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to that effect. I wish, Your Worship, that I could explain all those numbers.
And that is why we have the Development Services
That's right.
Department
Right here.
and all the experience and knowledge throughout our senior leadership team. So, all right. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. At this time, we'll move to the housekeeping resolutions. Resolution number 19.
Resolution number 19, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby appoints Andrew Barclay as a bylaw enforcement officer in and for the City of Kenora under the authority of the Police Services Act, and further, that this appointment shall take effect and come into force upon third and final reading thereof, and further, that bylaw number 140/2017 and 118/2005 be hereby repealed.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is passed. Resolution number 20.
Resolution number 20, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council receive the reports prepared by Charlotte Eady, Director of Finance Treasurer, dated March 9th, 2022, as required under Section 284 of the Municipal Act 2001, as amended, setting out the annual statement of remuneration and expenditures for members of council in accordance with remuneration bylaw number 48-2013.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 21.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 21, and it's seconded by Councillor Smith, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby accepts the City of Kenora Occupational Health and Safety Policy, the City of Kenora Workplace Harassment Policy, and the City of Kenora Workplace Violence Prevention Policy, and further, and that signatures of the mayor and CEO are affixed to said policies along with the date of endorsement and are posted in all workplaces.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution number 22.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to and execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and KGS Group for the provision of professional consulting services to deliver design work for McLeod Park upgrades, and further, that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
Adam, if you could, please.
It should be okay, Adam.
All good?
It should be okay, that's close enough.
No, so just the, further to this, the report, the budget that was earmarked for this 50,000 was discussed at the capital budget for 22. So this is just confirming the contract to do the expansion of scope, and we were successful in receiving NOHFC funding, and we do have FedNor funding to pull it off.
Thank you. Councillor Smith?
Just a question through you to Adam. So has any of the design work been started? The reason I ask is we plan to do capital works this summer, through spring through summer, and does that allow enough time for those capital works to be done and completed?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a sprint to the finish due to the detailed design for the expanded scope, but we are still planning on getting the work done in the summertime and probably going into fall. But the tender period is getting tight. Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 23.
Resolution number 23, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McMillan, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation for the delivery of detailed design and tender specifications to implement the upgrades at the Kenora Rec Centre, and further that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 24.
Resolution number 24, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Ministry of Northern Development, Mines, Natural Resources and Forestry for the Railway Street Road Project, and further, that the mayor and treasurer be authorized to execute this agreement.
Charlotte, if you could just provide some more detail, please.
Sure. Do you recall when we met on the capital budget, we were talking about the Railway Street project. We had mentioned the, first of all, the ISIP funding, which is the Northern and Rural Stream, which is going to be funding a vast majority of that project. And at the time, we were 95% there with respect to the NORDS funding. That it was new funding that had just showed up. The cash flow on that funding, if you recall, is over $322,000 per year for 5 years, for a total of 1.66 or 1.61 million for the course of the 5 years. The funding will flow $322,000. We may spend more or less each year. If at the end of the year we spent more, I'll be setting up a receivable for the difference, or if we've spent less than what we've received, we'll be setting up a deferred revenue. But in the end, we will be using the vast majority of that funding for the Railway Street project. I had engineering do a projection just to see if it was enough, and as far as we can tell now, we will be spending at least 1.5 million out of the 1.6, and as you know, things change. The first year of the construction project, we did not have this funding, so anything that wasn't financed by ISIP is going to be long-term debt, and then the rest of it is going to come under the NORDS funding.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Charlotte. Resolution number 25, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 25, and it's seconded by Councillor Goss, that 3 readings be given to bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Public Sector Digest for the development of an e-permitting platform in the amount of $39,000, and further, that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 26.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Ontario, as represented by the Minister of Agricultural, Food and Rural Affairs, for the delivery of the Harbourtown Centre Streetscaping project, and further, that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 27.
Resolution number 27, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby adopts the following minutes from various City of Kenora committees. November 25th, 2021 and January 27th, 2022, the Muse. January 13th, 2022, the Accessibility Advisory Committee. February 16th, 2022, Heritage Kenora. October 27th, 2021, November 24th, 2021, and January 26th, 2022, Kenora Public Library Board. The council hereby receives the following minutes from other various committees. January 4th and 2022, Northwestern Health Unit. November 25th, 2021, and January 27th, 2022, Police Services Board. February 23rd, 2022, NOMA Board meeting report to membership, and further, that these minutes be circulated and ordered filed.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 28.
Resolution number 28, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McMillan, that council hereby approves the write-off of accounts totaling $11,538.49 in 2019, and further, that staff be directed to continue collection efforts on these accounts.
All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is carried. Resolution number 29.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move resolution 29, and it's seconded by Councillor Goss, that the Council of the City of Kenora hereby accepts the January 2022 Kenora Water and Wastewater System Monthly Summary Report as prepared by City Administration.
Kevin, did you have anything you wanted to point out in the report?
Yes, Your Worship. Just want to point out at 3.0, as we discussed previously with regards to our roads team's efforts, if you look at the effort of the water distribution team and the collection team, you can see a number of digs and repairs that required the support of that roads team, which showed that our resources were stretched for the environment that we were put in. So this really clarifies the effort that the teams did collaboratively and what our environment actually dictates to us to respond to. So I want to make sure that I provided that clarity back to council through this report, and I'm definitely up for any suggestions. We're trying to make sure that the report is written in a method where council can understand it, and we're up to any suggestions that council would like to provide us.
All right. Call the resolution. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 30.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the following bylaw be now read a first and second time and approved in its present form and presented for third and final reading. Number 15, 2022, confirmatory. Number 16, 2022 water and wastewater budgets. Number 17, 2022 solid waste budget. Number 18, 2022 budget amendments, 2021 project carry forwards. Number 19, 2022 taxi bylaw. Number 20, 2022 Hoopla Island Memorandum of Understanding. Number 21, 2022 Regional License of Occupation Agreement, repeal, I'm sorry. Number 22, 2022 Zoning Bylaw Amendment, D14-22-02-1415 and 1435 Valley Drive. Number 23, 2022 Bylaw Officer Appointment. Number 24, 2022 KGS Contract McLeod Park. Number 25, 2022 NOHFC Funding Agreement, Rec Center Projects. Number 26, 2022 NORDS Funding Agreement, Railway Street Road Project. Number 27, 2022 Services Contract with PSD, E-Permitting. Number 28, 2022 RED Funding Agreement, Harbourtown Center Revitalization, Streetscaping.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Notices of motion, we have none. Proclamations, we have none. Announcements? We'll start with Councillor Smith.
I really have nothing today, except that it's good to be back in council chambers.
It's good to see your smile in the council chambers. Councillor Goss.
I have nothing to say today.
Councillor Chase.
Nothing today, Your Worship. Thank you.
And Councillor McMillan.
Thank you, Your Worship. If I could make a couple of comments about
Certainly.
World Water Day. It's World Water Day, and the theme, World Water Day today, one of the essential elements of Earth, water is the prime necessity of life. All living animals and plants cease to exist without it, hence the proverb, water is life. However, with the increasing industrialization, overuse, and exploitation of all natural sources, human life is facing some questionable situations such as acute water shortage. The theme for World Water Day, groundwater making the invisible visible, is the theme of World Water Day, proposed and presented at the World Water Forum in Dakar, Senegal, yesterday. And I think as we speak today, Your Worship, there's a celebration and an acknowledgement taking place at over McLeod Park near Husky the Muskie through Kenora Chiefs Advisory, acknowledging and recognizing the significance of water within the Indigenous culture, and it's the pathway to life. So with that, I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. At this time, I invite Kyle.
Thank you. I didn't want to mess up your rhythm there as we were working through the items, but I just wanted to take a moment to pause and take the time to celebrate and draw attention to something. You know, we had 3 or 4 grant applications that we've put in here, and as we were going through the housekeeping resolutions, we've got 6 different, funding agreements that we've secured. And I just want to take the time to celebrate and acknowledge the work of the senior leadership team and their crews. I know we kind of take this as business for granted, but that's money that we've been able to bring back into the community. It is going to go into some community, and the senior leadership team has worked really hard to bring that money to the city of Kenora to make sure that we can provide better services to the community, beautify our community, and make sure that we are taking care of core infrastructure. So I just really wanted to acknowledge that as we were whipping through, because I think it's really important, and it's also lessening the burden on the taxpayers here as we're getting that government funding to make sure we take care of core elements of the city's operations. So just want to take that time and thank everybody on the team for their hard work on all those things.
Well done, folks.
Definitely. I think what a lot of people don't really understand is when we have a capital budget, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be replaced, refurbished, and that money has to come from somewhere. So when we're able to access government funding, it relieves the pressure and the burden on our reserve funds and on the taxpayers. So we've been very successful in the last, probably in the last couple of years, and again, it's because of the quality of applications to our staff. So thank you very much. The only thing I would have to say is that, 2 things. Despite the snow, obviously, the next priority will be people complaining about potholes. And I would encourage we have a process in place. We have a pothole hotline. If you actually want a pothole fixed, I would encourage you to call the hotline as opposed to utilizing social media where we don't monitor it, and that's not our process. So we have a process in place. The reality is Kenora is not the only community that has potholes. Believe it or not, there are potholes throughout everywhere. And so let's use the proper mechanism we have in place, and staff will address. The reality is, every time you fill it, a big truck goes over it and pounds it. It's not a long-term solution. It's a work in progress every day. So, and the second thing I'd comment on as we move into the next phase, there's going to be people that wear face masks in stores. There's going to be, let's just respect everybody's decision. It's, you know, it's hard to believe it's 2 years. It's for the older people here, it's almost like that old Dallas where Bobby appeared the year after. In the shower. You know,
I actually know that one.
you know, it's just been a long time, so it's great to see. I joked about seeing your smiling face. It's just nice to see people again. Respect the people's decisions, and we'll continue to, you know, slowly move forward. At this time, I would ask the reading of resolution number 31, please.
Resolution number 31, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chase, that pursuant to Section 239 of the Municipal Act as amended, authorization is hereby given for council to move into a closed session at 12:39 p.m. to discuss items pertaining to the following. Number 1, education and training members of council. 3 matters, CAO, mayor and tourism brand presentation. Number 2, disposition of land. 1 matter, potential sale of municipal land. Number 3, a position plan procedure criteria or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality. 1 matter, OPP policing costs. Number 4, labor relations. 1 matter, CAO performance review.
All in favor?